Hello, I'm Charly and today I'm going to be doing a bookshelf tour. So my channel is over a year old now. I started in April of 2013 and it's now May of 2014. And although not many people have actually requested for me to do a bookshelf tour, it's only been like 1 or 2 people, I really should because I have one bookshelf tour up on my channel, but it's like when I didn't have my bookshelf, it was just like my books on my desk. So I haven't actually done a tour of this bookshelf, and all you guys ever see is these 2 shelves. And I've gotten a few new books that I haven't hauled yet, but that's okay, it's only like 5 books kind of. And yeah, I felt now was a good time to do it because I like how it looks right now, so I'm going to do a bookshelf tour. So before I get started, I just want to mention that the way I'm going to do it is, because like when I watch bookshelf tours, I always want to know which of the books the people have actually read, so that if I see a book I can be like, oh my god, did you like that book? Talk about it with me. But no, like I don't know which books they've read, so for my bookshelf tour I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to like list all the, like tell you what the books are, and then if I have not read them then I'll say which I have not read. So if I don't say anything, that means I have read it. So if you guys want to comment, then you can, or if you want to be like, read this book, then you can, because you'll know which ones I have not read. So I'll start off with just a general overview of my bookshelf. I have 6 shelves in total, but I only use 4 of them. As you can see, the top one only has a few random things, and the bottom one just has school stuff. And the ones that you can see in my videos are the 2nd and the 3rd shelf. So that top shelf just has 2 photos that I took that my photography teacher printed out for me last year, and a painting that I did in year 7, and 2 roses that my friends gave me on Valentine's Day. And then as we go down, the way I organise my books are by height, so all of those books on that shelf are all the same height, and then all of these go from tallest to shortest, as you can see. And then these are kind of just random, and then those are even more random, and then the bottom is just school stuff. So starting on the first shelf that has books on it, we have Divergent by Veronica Roth, Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas, which I have not read, and then we have the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness, which consists of The Knife of Never Letting Go, Book 1, The Ask and the Answer, Book 2, and Monsters of Men, Book 3, which is signed. I did not meet Patrick Ness, but my friend bought this for me at a shop and it was signed. Animal Farm by George Orwell, The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness, which I have not yet read. I have started it, I haven't read much, but I wasn't in the mood for it. And up here on display we have Stardust by Neil Gaiman, which I have not yet hauled and I have not yet read. Next we have my whole John Green collection, which consists of Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, Let It Snow, which is also written by Maureen Johnson and Laura Miracle, and I have not yet read this. Will Grayson, which is also by David Levithan, and I have not yet read this. The Fault in Our Stars, and An Abundance of Catherines. Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, which I have not yet read. Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Ink by Amanda Sun, which I have not yet read, The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, which is signed and personalised by Marcus Zusak when I met him in Sydney, because he lives in Sydney. Yay. And The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente, which I have not yet read. And then at the end here we just have my bookend, which is a horse. And I have 2 of those. The next one's on the other shelf, and then I just have this owl, which doesn't really have anything in it, it just has 1 hair tie in it. Moving on to the next shelf down, we have The Diviners by Libba Bray, More Than This by the one and only Patrick Ness, The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick, and here we have another horse head, which is holding up these books, and here we have the Ruby Red trilogy by Kirsten Gear, which consists of Ruby Red, Book 1, Sapphire Blue, Book 2, and Emerald Green, Book 3. Next we have the 2 books in the Darkest Minds trilogy, which have been released, and I have not read either of these. The Darkest Minds, Book 1, and Never Fade, Book 2. Fangirl by Rome Burrell, which I have not yet read, but I am currently reading Eleanor and Park and loving it. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Allardyce. I don't know how to say that, and I have not yet read this. Now by Maurice Glucksmann, which is the 3rd book in the Once Quartet, which I have read all of. The Coldest Girl in Cold Down by Holly Black. Next we have the first 2 volumes in the Death Note series in the Black Edition. There are 6 of the Black Edition, but there's 2 in each of these, so there's 12 in the whole series, and it's by Tatsumi Oba, and I have read this first 2 volumes, but I have not yet read the second 2. Death Note Volume 1 and Death Note Volume 2, which is the one I have not yet read. Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley, which I have not yet read or hauled. Ask the Passengers by A.S. King, which I have not yet read. Next we have the first 2 books that have been released in the Angel Fall series by Susan E. And I've read the first one, Angel Fall, and not yet read World After. Angel Fall Book 1 and World After Book 2. And you may be wondering why Ignite Me is here and all the others are chilling over here, and it's because of the height. Okay, I organised them in height and I would rather have the series separated than have one random tall book over there, so I was like, no. So this is the 3rd book in the Shatter Me trilogy, Ignite Me by Tahara Murphy, A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Noah Barleywater Runs Away by John Boyne, If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch, this owl ornament, which is just great, I love owls. And then we have the rest of the Shatter Me trilogy here. Unite Me, which has Destroy Me, Fracture Me, and Juliet's Journal, and they are the novellas which come between the books in the Shatter Me trilogy, and I have not yet read this. Shatter Me Book 1 and Unravel Me Book 2, which I have not yet read. Moving on to the next shelf down, I have my 2nd copy of The Night Circus, which is in hardcover. And then back here I just have a rock which I got from the beach in New Zealand when I used to live there. And then we have the Study series by Maria V. Snyder, which I have read all of. Boys in Study Book 1, Magic Study Book 2, and Fire Study Book 3. Next we have my whole Harry Potter collection, which includes this Time Turner necklace which Hermione wore in the 3rd book, Prisoner of Azkaban, and a lot of people have asked me where I got this, and I just got it from eBay. Like, literally you just search up either Harry Potter necklace or Time Turner necklace or Harry Potter Time Turner necklace, and it's really, really cheap, and it's not the best quality, but it is really cheap. And then up here I have the 4th movie, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and then we have the box set. I have read the first 4 books and I have not yet read Book 5, 6, and 7. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and finally Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And like I said, I have not yet read the last 3. Over here I just have a few random things. I have these 2 notebooks. This one I write all the books that I've read every month and do a count of which books I read. And this one doesn't have anything in it yet. Then we have Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendall Blake, which I believe is part of a duology, and I will not be continuing this series because I didn't enjoy this book as much as I thought I would. And then here we have my Kindle, which I don't use as much lately. It's out of battery as well, as you can see. But I just use it with books that I don't really like the cover of, so like I still want to read the book, but I just don't necessarily want it to be displayed on my bookshelf, which sounds really terrible, but I just do that, okay? It's okay. And then here is just a whole lot of random stuff. This is a candle which smells amazing. And then here is a random bookmark that I made. I just pressed flowers inside like Breaking Dawn and then I laminated them as you do. And then I have this elephant which is made out of rock and it's handmade and it's from South Africa, which is where I was born if you did not know. And then here we have just this that has a few of my bookmarks in it. As you can see, there's quite a few. And then here's another bookmark, which is for another Brian Selznick novel, which I really want to get. And then this is a Book Thief poster, which I also got at the Marcus Zuzak signing when I met him, and he also signed it at the top here. And then this is something that one of my school friends drew for me so long ago. It's like an anime thing. She's really good at drawing. And then this is the last shelf that has books on it, and this just kind of has all the leftover books that there's 2 layers, there's books behind these, and there's a whole lot of Terry Pratchett books over there, and yes. So I'll start with this. This is just, I got this for Christmas, and it's like a book, and it opens, and I have a whole lot of bookmarks in there. Now I'll go through these books that are here. 1984 by George Orwell, which I have not yet read, and I'm reading it next year for English at school. Emma by Jane Austen, which I was going to read for Extension English next year, except I dropped Extension English, so I have not yet read this. The Riders by Tim Winton, which I have not yet read. I'm reading that this year for English. And then I won't go through any of the Terry Pratchett books. I'll leave a link in the description to my book haul where I went through all of the Terry Pratchett books. They're from my dad, and I already went through them all, and there's obviously heaps is there, and then there's more there. So if you want to see all of them, then just click on the link in the description to go to the book haul. And then we have my Twilight books. I don't have the first book, and I never actually read the first book because I watched the movie and then I never wanted to read the book because I already knew what happened. So I never read the first book, but I did read all 3 of these. New Moon, Book 2, Eclipse, Book 3, and Breaking Dawn, Book 4. And then here on the very side is another Terry Pratchett book, which again, go to the link in the description if you want to see that. So now I've taken away that first layer of books, and this is what's behind it. I have read all of these books, I believe. I'm not sure. These are all childhood books. and I'm not sure if I read these Saddle Club ones, and I think I read all of these, which is a 40-book series, but I don't have all of them obviously, but I think I read all of them except maybe the last one. I don't know why. That was stupid. I know. I don't know why. But yes, first we have The Cabin in the Woods, and I'm not going to go through all of the books here. I'm just going to go through the ones that aren't in that 40-book series, and I'm just going to go through the first three, which is The Cabin in the Woods by Tim Lebon, and this is a movie novelization, so they made the movie and then they made the book. So I read the book and then I watched the movie. Then we have these two teeny tiny books that I got in Cheerios boxes, The Twits by Roald Dahl, which I love, and The Golden Compass Pan and The Prisoners of Bolvangar. I have no idea who this is by, and I don't even know. I think it's a novella or something. I have no idea, but yeah, I read it. And like I said, all of these are part of the Mandy series by Lewis Gladys Leopard, and I don't have all of them. And then these are part of the Saddle Club series, except for this top one, which is called Sophie's Lucky. And then down here I have One Random Horrorland book, which is book 4. And then at the very bottom I have Crime Scene Investigators, 10 True Tales. And yeah, I'm not going to bother getting them out. And then up here I have Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, which I think I tried to read this, but I was like in year 6 and it's a classic, so I didn't get through it, I don't think, but I really love this movie that's like a Disney movie. Then I have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which I have not yet read. Then I have The Distant Echo by Val McDermid. And then again, all of these are the Terry Pratchett books. All of this is Terry Pratchett, so go to that video if you want to see what all of these are. And then over here on the side, I just have this trophy, which is the only trophy that I own, and it's for gymnastics, and I got it at the end of last year, and you can't really read it. It says Outstanding Athlete, Training Ethic, Improvement and Sportsmanship. And then back here I just have my quote book, and it's like real leather and it's really cool, and like you open it like this. And then at the front I have quotes from songs, and then at the back I have book quotes, which I haven't really been keeping up to date with, but yeah. And that is my whole bookshelf. What do you think about my bookshelf? Do you like how I have arranged it? I've arranged it in height order, like I said. They're all in height order on this, and then these are tallest to shortest, and then all the others kind of random. But do you like how I organized it? And also tell me how you organize your bookshelf, because I really want to know how other people do it. I know some people just do it by author's last name, which I see the point of that if you have heaps of books, but like I know where all my books are, so I don't see the point in that, and I just like doing it for aesthetics, like making it look good, not making it functional kind of thing. And I know some people do it by genre and some people do it rainbow. How do you do it, and have you tried heaps of different ways? And if you have, then which one do you find to be the most effective? So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye! Hello, I'm Charly, and today I'm going to... Then we have two teeny